The Newsday continues here on One News Now. I'm Riza Diaz. After months of uncertainty, the Makabayan Coalition has formally endorsed presidential bet Leni Robredo and her running mate Senator Kiko Pangilinan for the 2022 polls. Let's talk more about this with Vice President Leni Robredo's spokesperson, Attorney Barry Gutierrez, is joining us this evening via Zoom. Attorney Barry, good evening.
Good evening, Riza. Happy to be here.
Sir, would like to ask first off, can you share with us how was Vice President Leni Robredo's reaction when she found out the Makabayan's endorsement?
Well, she's thankful for the support. Both she and Senator Kiko appreciate the declaration of support made by Makabayan both yesterday and this morning in a separate press conference. And they look forward to being able to work together to bring a government that will actually be responsive to the needs of our people and will be able to address many of the current crises currently confronting our nation.
Sir Barry, do you think this endorsement would be of an effect to your camp's standing ahead of the polls?
Well, any endorsement is welcome in a time of elections. The oft-cited maxim is that politics is addition, and that's very true, especially during campaign season. So a large group like Makabayan, which is well established, has a considerable grassroots presence, and which has fielded candidates in multiple elections, will definitely be a plus in this particular campaign.
Would like to get also your insight if Vice President Leni Robredo is still open, perhaps, on endorsing former Bayan Muna lawmaker Nery Colmenares as senator.
Well, unfortunately, the senatorial slate of VP Leni and Senator Kiko is already at 12. So it would be impossible to actually include any other name in that list of 12. But we respect the fact that Isang Bayan has come up with its own list and that Congressman Nery is included in that particular list.
Attorney, as you mentioned, Mr. Colmenares is now part of the Isang Bayan Bets for Senator. Do you have any comment on, or rather, did you get any comments from the vice presidential's lineup of senators?
Well, I haven't really been able to talk to them recently, but I'm sure that like all the other persons nominated by Isang Bayan before, they are thankful for the support. And again, as I mentioned, in any election, if an organized group comes forward to endorse you, if an organized group with a clear organization at the grassroots with a mass base says that they will support you and are calling on people to actually vote for you in the election, that's definitely a plus, and I'm sure that it will go a long way towards the respective campaigns of our own senatorial candidates.
Sir Barry, on another issue, the ruling on Mr. Bongbong Marcos' disqualification cases is still being hounded by a lot of delays. Is Vice President Leni Robredo still unbothered about this?
Completely unbothered. From the start, our framework has been that this is an election, this is a campaign, and we will have to win in the polls. So any disqualification case, any administrative proceeding involving any of the other candidates is their problem. As far as we're concerned, we're focused on the campaign, we're focused on the election, and as the Vice President has said herself several times, she'd rather win in an election.
And with that being said, we are just about like 3 months and a few weeks away from the elections. What can
We're
we
100 days away, exactly, today.
Oh, yes. Well, that's an accurate computation. But what can we expect, Attorney, from the Robredo's camp in the next week, especially again as the polls draw clear?
Well, we're going into a transition period now because the official campaign period is set to begin February 8th. Which is just a few days away. It will be week after this week. So that will obviously necessitate some adjustment on the way we have been doing things so far. For example, the restrictions will have to be followed more strictly now that we are in the official campaign. The rules on advertisements will begin to apply. We will have to be more conscious of spending and of airtime. So that will all come into play. And of course, you have the continuing challenge of the pandemic. Unlike every other campaign and every other election, now there is a great deal of uncertainty as to what the rules will be, considering that if another surge happens, or if the cases go up again, then new restrictions might be put in place, which will necessitate a shift from face-to-face campaigning to probably more remote or online types of campaign. So it's something that we are adjusting to. It's something that we are trying very hard to find a way forward, despite the newness of the situation. But one thing we are definitely grateful for, and one of the things that we think is key to our victory in May, is the fact that the volunteer campaign, the people's campaign, as the Vice President has called it, has really come out in full force in support of her, Senator Kiko, and the entire senatorial slate. In other campaigns I've been part of, you did not see this level of participation and support. There, the campaigns had to call on people, or in fact, fund people to move. Here, it's the other way around. It's the people themselves organizing, funding their own activities, and initiating their own campaigns for the Vice President and for Senator Kiko Pangilinan. So, it's really been a tremendous help to our efforts, and we have no doubt that moving forward into the official campaign, that will remain a key component of our campaign operations.
Well, Attorney Barry, thank you as always for sharing with us all those information and your time. Maraming salamat po.
Maraming salamat. Take care.
That's Attorney Barry Gutierrez, spokesperson of the Office of the Vice President. Now, still on the upcoming elections, the National Police says it is prepared to carry out, quote, warrantless arrests against those who threaten journalists. In today's Laging Handa briefing, PNP spokesperson Roderick Alba said they have been designated by the Interior Department as the so-called media security vanguards. So far, Alba said the police have yet to receive any complaints in relation to media attacks this election season.
Kung kailangang hulihin na yung mga tao na nirereklamo, mayroon tayong enough evidence, ay pwede po nating we could do warrantless arrest, or kung mayroon tayong nag-file ng kaso, may warrants of arrest, ay pwede po nating hulihin.
Meanwhile, the Catholic Bishops' Conference of the Philippines maintains that they will not accept donations from politicians. President Bishop Pablo Virgilio David said donations from politicians are, quote, a touchy issue. He added that they would not know if it is from the people's hard-earned taxes. Now, as for this year's polls, David said the group wants to see a candidate who will give attention to the environment. The CBCP is set to release a pastoral statement on politics by February.
We don't want to encourage yung patronage politics. Baka kasi yan ay pondong galing sa gobyerno. Hindi tama na gamitin ang pondong gobyerno sa gawain ng simbahan unless it's a partnership in a common endeavor na which benefits the poor.
We'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here on One News. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Riza Diaz. The Health Department logs over 17,300 new COVID-19 cases. This brings the total caseload to 3.52 million, some 213,500,000 of which are still active. Now, 17 new deaths were tallied, bringing the death toll to 53,870, and around 24 cases that were previously tagged as recoveries were reclassified as deaths. Total recoveries, meanwhile, are at 3.26 million after 35,300 new survivors were logged. 77 duplicates were removed from the total case count. Of these, 52 are recoveries. 33.3% of the 56,400 tests included in today's bulletin yielded positive results. Let's now take a quick look at today's other top stories. State-run Land Bank of the Philippines has welcomed the Investigation Bureau's probe into the teacher-targeted phishing scam. The bank says they are fully cooperating with the investigation and is also conducting their own. Now, aside from the NBI, they're also in contact with the Education Department for the list of affected teachers. Meanwhile, Filipino and American troops have kicked off joint military exercises dubbed MARIX 22. It's a week-long drills that includes operations for counterterrorism. A U.S. Navy official says this will strengthen both countries' commitment in the Indo-Pacific region, which covers the Philippines. And in weather, Metro Manila and the rest of the country should expect warmer days ahead, according to Pagasa. In NCR, residents can expect temperatures ranging from 23 to 33 degrees Celsius. Now, the Weather Bureau also says the warmer weather is brought by the meeting of the northeast monsoon and the easterlies. Now, for more updates, visit News 5, The Philippine Star, and Business World Online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. You can also catch One News on Signal Play app. Register for a free account now at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. I'm Riza Diaz. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. We are One News.